For most of human history, we believed language belonged to us alone. Words, grammar, meaning. These were the things that separated humanity from every other creature on Earth. Then scientists made a discovery that may force us to rethink everything. Using artificial intelligence and thousands of hours of underwater recordings, researchers uncovered something hidden deep within the communication of sperm whales. Not simple calls, not instinctive signals. Something far more complex. A structured communication system, unlike anything scientists expected to find. And buried within that system was a discovery so unsettling that some researchers believe it could change how we see intelligence itself. Because the more we learn about what whales are saying to each other beneath the ocean, the more one terrifying possibility begins to emerge. They may understand us far better than we understand them. For decades, sperm whales were considered one of the most mysterious animals on Earth. They spend most of their lives in darkness, diving thousands of feet below the surface where sunlight never reaches. They communicate through powerful clicking sounds that can travel for miles through the ocean. Scientists called these sounds codas. At first, they seemed simple, short patterns of clicks repeated again and again. Researchers assumed they functioned much like basic animal signals. Danger, food, follow me, useful forms of communication, but nothing close to human language. That assumption lasted for decades. Then technology changed everything. In recent years, an international team of scientists launched one of the most ambitious animal communication projects ever attempted. Its goal was simple: record as many whale conversations as possible and use artificial intelligence to search for patterns humans might never notice on their own. The project collected thousands of recordings from sperm whales living near the Caribbean island of Dominica. Advanced recording devices were attached directly to whales, capturing conversations with a level of detail never seen before. What happened next shocked everyone involved. When the AI began analyzing the recordings, it found far more complexity than researchers expected. Instead of a handful of communication patterns, it identified over 150 distinct structures. The clicks were not random. They contained rhythm, timing, variation, modification. The same pattern could be altered in different ways to produce different meanings. It was behaving less like animal signaling and more like a language system. The discovery alone was extraordinary, but it was only the beginning. As researchers looked deeper, they realized the whales were not simply repeating sounds. They were combining smaller elements into larger structures. Human language works in a similar way. A limited set of sounds can be arranged into nearly infinite combinations of words and sentences. The whale communication system appeared to follow the same principle. Suddenly, the old assumptions began collapsing. If whales were organizing information through structured communication, then what exactly were they talking about? That question led scientists down a path they never expected. Because understanding whale language requires understanding whale society. And whale society is far more advanced than most people realize. Sperm whales live in large family groups led by elder females. These groups remain together for decades. Grandmothers help raise calves. Mothers cooperate with one another. Knowledge appears to pass from generation to generation. Researchers have documented different family groups displaying unique behaviors, hunting techniques, and communication styles. In other words, they have culture, not instinct, not programming. Culture, the same concept that helped shape human civilizations. The implications were becoming difficult to ignore. large brains, complex societies, long-term memory, social learning, and now, evidence of sophisticated communication. The list was growing. But then scientists noticed something even stranger. Certain communication patterns appeared during specific events. When family groups are reunited, when calves were separated from their mothers, when disturbances occurred nearby, and especially when ships entered their environment. Again and again, similar communication sequences appeared. The same patterns, the same structures, the same responses. It looked as though whales were discussing events happening around them. That possibility raised a disturbing question. What if these animals weren't simply reacting to human activity? What if they were actively talking about it? To test the idea, researchers began comparing communication patterns against environmental conditions. Ship traffic, noise levels, human activity, behavioral responses. Gradually, connections started appearing. Certain communication structures became far more common after encounters with ships. Others appeared after loud sonar activity. Some emerged following stressful events within whale groups. The AI kept identifying the same recurring patterns. Patterns associated with disturbance, patterns associated with caution, patterns associated with potential danger. And that is where the truly unsettling part of the story begins. For over 200 years, humans have dramatically altered the ocean. Commercial whaling killed hundreds of thousands of sperm whales. Entire family groups vanished. Ancient social structures were shattered. Generations of knowledge disappeared. Even after large-scale whaling ended, new threats emerged. Massive cargo ships, industrial noise, military sonar, pollution. Every decade, the underwater world became louder, more crowded, more dangerous. For an animal that depends on sound for nearly every aspect of life, the impact has been enormous. Imagine trying to communicate with your family while standing beside a jet engine. Now imagine living in that environment every day. Researchers began asking an uncomfortable question. If whales possess sophisticated communication systems, how are they describing these changes to one another? The answer may be more disturbing than anyone expected. Across years of recordings, certain warning-related communication structures appeared repeatedly. Not once, not occasionally, repeatedly, across different whale families, across different regions, across different years. The same warnings kept appearing, the same apparent discussions, the same behavioral responses. It was as though information was spreading throughout whale communities. Information about a threat, and the threat appeared to be us. For the first time, researchers began considering a possibility that would have sounded absurd only a decade ago. What if whales maintain collective knowledge about human behavior? What if encounters with ships are not isolated experiences? What if information about danger is passed from mothers to calves and from one generation to the next? Humans do this constantly. We teach children what to avoid. We share stories. We preserve knowledge. We pass warnings through generations. Could whales be doing something similar? The evidence is becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss. Some scientists now believe whale communication may contain information about locations, social relationships, hunting strategies, and environmental dangers. If true, it would mean whales possess something far beyond simple communication. It would mean they possess shared knowledge. A living archive carried through sound. And that possibility creates an even larger question. What happens if whale language is eventually decoded? Not partially understood, not guessed at, fully translated. Imagine listening to a conversation between whales and understanding every word. Imagine discovering discussions about migration routes preserved for centuries. Stories passed from grandmother to granddaughter. Warnings shared across generations. Memories of human ships. Memories of hunting vessels. Memories of changing oceans. The implications stretch far beyond marine biology. They challenge some of humanity's oldest assumptions. For centuries, we placed ourselves at the top of intelligence. Language was one of the strongest pieces of evidence supporting that belief. But every new discovery chips away at that certainty. The gap between human intelligence and animal intelligence is becoming harder to define. And nowhere is that more obvious than beneath the surface of the ocean. Because the terrifying discovery hidden in whale communication isn't simply that whales may have language. It's what that language suggests. It suggests they remember. It suggests they teach. It suggests they observe. And perhaps most unsettling of all, it suggests they have been talking about us for a very long time. Long before artificial intelligence. Long before underwater microphones. Long before humans even considered listening. Somewhere in the darkness, thousands of feet below the surface, conversations are still happening right now. Entire worlds of meaning moving through the ocean. Messages passed between family members. Warnings shared between generations. Knowledge preserved through sound. And if scientists are correct, those conversations may reveal something uncomfortable. While humanity spent centuries believing we were studying whales, the whales may have been studying humanity the entire time. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to subscribe for more history mysteries.